Welcome back to the Chicago Tomahawk. I'm Mike, got Matt up top, Justin on the bottom, and we're going to go over everything that's happened in the NHL since Thursday night, or actually Wednesday night. Colorado got eliminated. Talk about Tampa versus the Isles, Habs versus Vegas, and then we're going to talk about some decisions that need to be made in Colorado. But first, let's talk about that elimination. I did not see that coming. After that 7-1 blowout in the first game, it looked like Colorado was every bit that they were billed as, that they were going to just come in running through teams in the playoffs. Game 2 came in and they came back down to earth. And then after that, it was all downhill for Vegas, really, because they just steamrolled them and actually embarrassed them in that last game. Did you guys happen to see Nathan MacKinnon's interview?
No, I did not see it, Mike. What was it?
He was not happy.
He went off on himself too.
Was that the one where he was like,
I haven't done shit.
I haven't done shit.
Yeah.
You only get so many kicks at the can of this. Yeah, I did see. Okay, I take it back. I did see that. Yeah, he looked dejected. Holy cow.
Yeah, he totally did not want to be there. And this is the reason why I think that it's incredibly unfair to have these players come in and do media right after a loss like that. Because the guy, he practically didn't give any statements. They asked him some questions. He's like, no, and that's it. Nothing.
Should give it a day.
Yeah. At least give it a day, because if they're asking me questions right after a loss like that, I'd make Tortorella look like a walk in the park. Because it's like these guys are competitors and they're sitting there asking them questions. So Colorado is eliminated. What are they going to be doing going into the offseason? Matt, what is their free agent situation looking like?
Yeah, they got a lot of questions here. Who's in net? Grubauer's contract's up. I think his contract was at like $3-something million.
Yeah, it was pretty
maybe
affordable.
3, 4, and he's got a Vezina candidate this year. He's probably going to want to raise.
Be paid, yeah.
And he's older. That's a question. I thought he wasn't that great the last 3 games.
I agree.
I think they have to make a decision on Kadri if they're going to protect him. Otherwise, Seattle's going to grab him. Cale Makar is going to need to get paid. I know he's at rookie entry level money. I think it's $950 or $850, whatever.
Like that, yeah.
What do you guys think that he's going to be expecting? I've heard 8 years for $8 million a year. I've heard maybe 9, but then if he does that, he's going to be really hurting, the depth of the team.
Yeah.
So I'm just your thoughts.
I mean, he's young. He's been great since he got here, or since he got there, I should say. I'd say at least $7 million, I would imagine. And if you could get him for 8 years, I don't know. I feel like any time though teams give out those 8-year deals, they never pan out. I mean, even granted, this kid might realistically should, but I mean, 8 years is a long time. I don't know. I'd say at least 7, 8, 8.5 million, I think, is what he's going to command. I mean, he ever since he came in that first season and played a few games in the playoffs, he's been dynamite. So,
yeah,
like you said though, Matt, it's going to hurt their salary cap for sure.
I miss the bridge deals, like
the
prove it deal. Like, all right, we know you're good. Let's do a 2-year 6 to 5.
That's what PK Subban did, didn't he, when he was in Montreal? Yeah.
Yeah, and he got paid after. And at least if they do a short term cheaper, they can keep the team together a little bit longer because they're freaking really close.
Yeah.
And these guys need to see that, like MacKinnon did with his previous contract. It's helping. I mean, they can build a good, solid team around him. But if they pay Makar this money, somebody's not coming back. So, I mean, you got Brandon Saad, who's, he was pretty good in the playoffs. He's got 2 Stanley Cups with the Hawks. I mean, he's a guy that you want in the playoffs.
Right.
So
I think he had 20 goals on the season, so he had pretty good production.
Yes, I think he had a good season, and so did their captain, Landeskog. He had 20 goals, and I think he had 32 assists, 52 points. He was a plus 14. He's been with the team forever. He's their captain. And I think you got to do everything you can to keep the guy. I mean, I think he's one of the faces of the franchise.
Do you think Jared Bednar maybe is the problem?
Hold on.
Okay.
Before we get into that, I want to rebuttal on that.
I know Mike hates Landeskog. He
Landeskog
hates guys that highlight their hair, like Jeff Carter.
Yeah, we'll put them in the highlight reel, where one day I'm gonna get a list of all these dudes who have highlights in their hair, and I'm gonna run through all of them. Anyways, I think Landeskog is a average player at best. He's putting up medium numbers with a superstar like Nathan McKinnon. Now, he showed a lot of promise earlier in his career. I think he scored 35 goals or something like that within his first 2 years. And then after that, he's been pretty average. I don't think that he has what it takes to lead this team to the promised land. I think that they could get rid of him and add somebody who brings more worth to the team. But that's my opinion on Landeskog. Yeah, he has been the face of the team, and if they're looking to sell jerseys and do that kind of stuff, then fine. I guess you can keep him. But if they're looking to take the next step, I think that maybe he should be the first guy out the door. Give McKinnon the C, because I think that he leads from the front, and let him take the franchise in a new direction.
Yeah, I mean, I will. I think I kind of drift towards Mike's statement. I've never been a huge Landeskog fan. I think, like you said, he came in with a bang, and he's a solid player. I mean, I would take him on the Hawks, put him on like a second line.
God.
No, you wouldn't take him, Mike?
No.
But like
he's a plus 50 his career.
I'd be standing in front burning his jersey every single day when he pulled up to the rink.
He's got 500 points in 10 years. He's a solid player, and if you get rid of him, you let him walk. Who do you replace him with?
He's played with McKinnon for 9 years.
Not that long.
How long has he played with him? McKinnon's been in the league for 9 years.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they've been on the same line together till this year. Honestly,
right, because he sucked that bad, because he didn't. He's
a 20 goal guy, man. He's a 20 goal scorer. He's got solid numbers every year. His best year was 75 points.
What was that, like
65?
2014?
2018.
Really? I'd still not take him.
I would take him, but I wouldn't pay him like crazy amount of money, because he's still 28 years old. I'd take him over Taylor Hall any day of the week.
Really?
Yeah,
that's
That's
interesting.
an interesting.
This guy's got playoff stats. This is Taylor Hall's second year in the playoffs. Yeah, and he was a ghost.
But that's because he played on shitty teams and he went around to get paid. You know what? Let's compare. What are Taylor Hall's statistics compared to Gabriel Landeskog?
Okay, so in 10 years, 687 games played.
This is for
Landeskog has 512 points, and he's a plus 50.
Okay.
The argument's over because he has playoff years.
Okay.
So I'll get up Taylor Hall. Hold on. I got to look what team he's on, though, now, because he's been on 13 different ones.
This should be really interesting.
The only cool thing about Taylor Hall is that he gets teams' first-round picks. Buffalo just got the first-round pick.
Wow.
So
that's true.
Okay, Taylor Hall. Let's see. 680 games, 596 points, minus 48.
Minus 40. Well, because he doesn't play defense.
Landeskog is... Okay, well...
That's well known. What they needed was scoring, which is actually what something Taylor Hall can do. As a matter of fact, how many MVPs does Landeskog have?
I don't think those guys care about trophies. They want to win the cup, and Landeskog has a better chance of winning a cup than Taylor Hall anytime. Well, I would take that in a minute.
You know, that's oh my gosh, man. I can't believe it. How many goals does Landeskog have?
Okay, well, here's Taylor Hall's goals. He has 228. 228. And Landeskog, where are you? Lost him. Okay, he has 218.
Oh, wow, 10 goal difference.
That's closer than I thought it would be.
So in his assist, he has 294. And Taylor Hall
368. I didn't see that coming.
has 368.
I did not. I did not see Taylor Hall having 368 assists.
He's not that good of a player.
Who do you think was better, him or Sagan?
Tyler Sagan?
Yeah. Do you think that Edmonton should have taken Sagan instead of Hall?
I don't think it would have mattered, to be honest. But,
I think the real point is, if I'm Boston, I'm not letting Tyler Sagan go.
Yeah,
I'm not trading him.
Yeah, that was a big mistake.
Yeah,
because
that's crazy. I can't believe that they did that.
They were embarrassed about his
behavior,
being a kid. Yeah, but
was it really that big of a deal?
No. The Hawks didn't give up on Kane, and look, that we won 3 cups. So he had some issues off ice, and they were patient. They knew he was a kid. He grew up, and now I bet you the guy barely leaves his house.
Yeah, he's a leader.
They probably scared the shit out of him.
Yeah.
All right, so Landeskog is worth a bag of pucks. All right.
I would take Landeskog on July 1st or whatever the free agency day is over Taylor Hall.
Okay.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want Taylor Hall in the Hawks. I don't think that he'd really provide anything. But I think
he wants Boston. He wants Boston, man, because there's not a lot of pressure on him there, and he wants to get paid still too.
Yeah,
Boston would be nuts to re-sign him.
All right, so Makar, he's looking at somewhere between $6 and $8 million. He's gonna
maybe $9. Yeah,
man, that would be crazy if he took $9 million. What kind of message does that send to McKinnon?
Well, he's going to get 12 or 13.
Yeah, he's going somewhere else at that point.
Yeah, I think so. I think that they have to be really careful with this.
I'm not bashing the Leafs or anything, but what they did was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
No,
it doesn't
work. The depth, look at
Montreal. Look at New York right now.
Actually, this brings up my next point: winning teams versus superstars. That's the next thing I wanted to get into.
Depth.
We have a lot of teams out here that have these heavily front-loaded offensive teams that are fast, look to score goals, and you have these other teams that are coming out of absolutely nowhere with a bunch of really good players that are playing their role, and these teams are winning. Actually, all of these teams are in the are in the show at the end of coming to the end of the playoffs, and it goes to show you that it's not how many superstars that you have on your team. Who would have picked the Habs to make it to we'll call it the conference finals?
Jay Kahn.
What's that?
Jay Kahn.
Jay Kahn.
Yeah. Well,
smart man.
He called that first. He called that first series.
Yeah.
Actually, he called that first series before it was even announced.
Yeah. He called it 3 weeks before the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
That's insane.
So
that's a Toronto guy for you. He's like, I know what's going to happen.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think about teams front loading? Do you think that this is going to change what GMs are going to do come this offseason?
I mean, I kind of think it's a copycat league, right? So you would think this would be the direction a lot of GMs go, but with depending on how the cap is and contract coming up, it's tough. I mean, you look at Montreal, and I know we've nailed this into the ground, but no one comes to mind as an offensive juggernaut on that team. Mm-mm. And they're still, I mean, you get through Toronto, you get through Winnipeg. I mean, you sweep Winnipeg, which, granted, Winnipeg not the greatest team, and Scheifele's kind of a moron. He kind of took himself out of the game, out of the series too. But yeah, and now, I think the real test, we'll see how they do against Vegas. I mean, their luck their luck might run out, or they might get exposed because they just won't have the wherewithal to keep up with them. But I would have said the same thing about the Leafs too, and look where that got them. So, and then same thing with the Islanders, right? Like you have Barzal, who's kind of
their first line.
Anders Lee is pretty decent as well, and
he's hurt.
He's hurt, but I mean, in terms of big picture, right? And then you got some strong goaltending and some decent guys on the back end, but nothing like Tampa. I mean, in today's game was a perfect example. I turned it on, I think halfway through the first period or second period. I'm like, holy cow, they're winning. And it wasn't like just a fluky thing. Like they actually looked good.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. But playing a team game can take you far if everyone's on the same page. So
Yep, good coach.
yeah,
And they did a pretty good job of staying out of the box too,
yes, they did.
which I think is really the key to beating Tampa. If you want to beat Tampa, you got to stay out of the box because
true.
they're going to absolutely burn you on their power play.
Yep.
The New York Saints, is that what they're calling them?
Yeah,
the
that's what they're calling them,
Saints.
yeah.
They are the least penalized team, and
Wow.
Barry Trotz got them disciplined, and that's what killed Boston. They were complaining about the refs. I know the coach was, they're the Saints. Well, don't commit penalties on them, and I thought it was a great series.
Yeah, I thought so.
Bergeron, what do they call it, the perfection line? They were the only line that produced. Taylor Hall was terrible. No one else really rings a bell for Boston, and that's why they won. And they had depth. They had, what's his name? Brock Nelson was scoring goals, and he's like a second line guy. Barzal, first liner. Then you got the fourth line, the identity line, I think they call him, Cizikas and Clutterbuck and Matt Martin. I thought getting Matt Martin back from Toronto was a great move for them.
It was great.
He's a fan favorite, locker room guy. That's a guy that I wish we had a guy like that.
Well, actually,
they know their role.
I won my fantasy hockey league years ago because I had Cal Clutterbuck and Matt Martin on my team, and they annihilated the hits category.
Right.
Yeah, Matt Martin's solid. I can't believe they Toronto wanted to let him go. I think it was more of a money thing probably, but
right.
I know Mitch and Marner got along great. I'm sorry, not Mitch. Martin and Marner got along great. I've seen clips of them having fun videos and stuff, and he was kind of like, I felt like a bodyguard to the guy, and they let him go.
Yeah, I don't understand that one.
I think Lou Lamoriello is a hockey genius. I mean, getting Barry Trotz too was
that was
probably
huge.
One smart move. And what's up with Washington? The guy wins the cup and you let him go, and they've been terrible since. It's just so dumb.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't believe some of these owners. Like, what are you doing?
No, I still don't get that one.
Yeah.
Like they don't care to win again. It's like you just won a cup with this guy. He pretty much turned Ovechkin into a solid two-way guy when he was there, and then he's kind of back to normal.
Just ship him out.
Yeah. Just hanging out in the circle, waiting for a pass.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Exactly.
So the Habs and Tampa and the Isles, man, I think that this is going to be a pretty good series because we're looking at a pretty strongly team-oriented game, like we were mentioning earlier with the Isles and Tampa. Man, they just come at you with everything but the kitchen sink, and they could put a ton of shots on net. They'll punish you on the power play. Just a really hard team to play against. Do you think that the Islanders' more physical type of game is going to deter Tampa and take them off of their game? We'll start with you, Matt.
So. No, I don't think so. I think today was a good grind out win for the Islanders. I thought both goalies were really good. I think Tampa's still going to win just because they're so, like you said, they're top heavy. I mean, if New York can contain Kucherov, and I mean, they got to contain, you almost need two shutdown lines because if they spread their talent out, being Tampa, they got a good shot. But I think Varlamov, it's been weird with these goalies. Didn't he Barry Trotz switched back to Varlamov?
He did, yeah.
Who knows when his leash, who knows how short it is? I mean, he could go back to the kid, and we could be in another, like a stupid goalie changing rotation. And I think Tampa is just, if they have a good game against him, I think Tampa can probably win this series because the goaltenders are going to be flopping all over the place with Barry Trotz.
What do you think, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm still shocked the Islanders have gotten this far. Like I wanted to. I mean, they seem like they're a fun team to root for. You got Barry Trotz, you got some not as popular guys, and I feel like they always kind of play second fiddle to the Rangers in general, right? So
yeah.
So no, I would love.
Mets.
Yeah. Oh God, I hate the Mets, but that's a whole other
I think
story.
everybody does.
Yeah, their fans are the worst. Anyway, yeah, no, I'm pulling for them. I mean, I'd like to see them win. I mean, granted, Tampa's great, but you kind of want to see. I'd like to see somebody kind of dethrone the champs, but
I think
I don't know.
it's Vegas this year, boys.
I
Quite
think so
honestly.
too. I think so too. If the Isles do make it past them, I mean, you got to give it to them because they're just playing a team game at this point. But and I think a lot of the credit has to go to Barry Trotz. I mean, he's got this team. You lose Tavares a few years ago, then you pick up Barry Trotz as your coach, and they get better, like
Right.
noticeably better than they
And
were
Robin
without.
Leonard. They lost Leonard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you
So-
know, replace him with a Russian that's not, done anything. And he's
Right.
looked good this
So
year.
in my
Crazy.
mind, that right there just goes to show how big of an impact coaching can have.
And a GM that knows
And a
what he's
GM.
doing. Garth
Yeah, Lula-
Snow.
Yeah. Lou Lamoriello is, as much as I used to get frustrated with him sometimes when he was GM in the Leafs, and obviously, I mean, he had a huge tenure with the Devils and accomplished a lot, but the man knows what he's doing, and to be almost, I think, damn near 80 at this point, and he's still alive and kicking and trucking, so you got to give it to him. He's put this team together. He knows what he's doing, and I'd love to see them take it. It's going to be really tough, though, to beat Tampa in a 7-game series, so we'll see.
3 more. Yeah, we'll see.
All
Yeah.
right. Let's move on to Habs in Vegas.
Cool.
Does Carey Price have it in him to completely stop Vegas? Let's start with you, Matt.
I think he could, man. He's like Fleury on the other team. He could do it too. So it's going to come down to which goalie wants it more, I think. I think Carey Price is probably going to be a little more busy than Fleury this series because I think Vegas, they have a really good top 6. Even their defensive core is, you got Pietrangelo and you got Theodore, and those guys are probably on the ice every other shift, it seems like. I honestly thought the Knights probably could have beaten the Avalanche in 5 if it wasn't for DeBoer putting Leonard in as easily.
you're
I
probably
thought
right.
Fleury was hot. He probably could have stole a game, and it could have been over sooner, quite honestly.
I think
But
you're right.
It was kind of like he was waving the flag. We're just going to get a loss. And he's lucky his team fought back. And, I mean, they were down 2-0, I think, the first 2 games, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's lucky Fleury bailed him out again. So he better not, take him out again and put Leonard in.
Yeah, no kidding. What do you think, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see Montreal, I'm all for an upset or an underdog. I'd love to see them do it. I don't know if they can. I think Matt's spot on about DeBoer. I still don't know what the hell he was doing. He like you said, he's very lucky his team is as good as they are and they came back. I almost feel like they won that series in spite of him.
It's like he gave
not
him a
because
game.
of him.
A free win.
You pretty much said, hey, here, take this
Yeah.
one. We don't need that many here. Here's a freebie. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to see what Montreal can do. I mean, realistically, I can't think of the name of their current coach since they let
Oh, yeah.
what's his name go. But
Julian?
I mean, they're pretty much still playing just Julian's system, just with a few tweaks here and there from what I've seen and from what I've read. But yeah, Carey, it's going to be on Carey Price if he gets all these accolades. And I was reading an article, it was on ESPN, and it was a poll of a bunch of current players, like which goaltender do you feel is the hardest to play against? And Carey Price every year is voted near the top, even though he hasn't won a cup, hasn't gotten far in the playoffs, but there's something about him that other players respect. And I mean, this is your chance to really show why people think so highly of you. I mean, he's done it the first 2 rounds. So
Could you imagine if he played for Vegas?
yeah, that'd be insane.
They would have
Insane.
won 2 cups by now.
Yeah. Hands
I mean,
down.
realistically,
year.
with his contract, I don't think he's leaving Montreal anytime soon.
I meant just like hypothetically speaking.
Oh, yeah, hypothetical,
like
yeah.
From a talent perspective, imagine
it-
if he played for Vegas.
Even Tampa.
Yeah.
Tampa would win every year. I mean,
Yeah.
Vasilevsky is pretty damn freaking
He
good.
is, man. He is really good. I can't believe that they had him and Ben Bishop at one time.
yeah, that's crazy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'd love to see him get a little bit further than he normally does, especially with a team that's not the highest ranked, I guess you would say. But it's going to be very telling. I think Game 1 is going to be very, very telling. If Vegas comes out and just blows the doors off them, I think that's going to be what you're going to get the whole series, and it could be over very quickly. If Montreal comes out and somehow manages to keep playing their game and kind of slow things down, and Price stands on his head, then maybe you'll have a little bit of a series. We'll see. But
if they lose, do you think Price is like, get me out of here? I want to win a cup. Do you think that you could see him going?
I mean, he might say that. I just the amount of work it would take to get him and his contract out of Montreal.
What's he making?
I mean,
9?
10, I
I
think.
want to say 10.
So is Bobrovsky.
Yeah, that's true. Stranger things have happened, right? So
Yeah.
let me see.
I mean, I would probably, if the Hawks were to do something, I would be like, jump on it, because he can, win games by himself.
Let him mentor Lincoln.
There you go.
Why not?
He signed.
He's at 9. I want to say
He's
9.
at $10.5 million.
Yep.
Okay.
And it was an 8-year deal. So I'm trying to find when it was signed. I'm sorry. Here you go. Perfect. It goes to 2025, 2026. This is his last year.
So he's got a while.
Yeah.
So he will be at that point, he will be 38 years old.
Ooh, yeah, he's getting up there. He's got to take advantage.
So he's got
You're
6 years
close.
left. No, I take
Yeah,
that back. Yeah, 6 years left. Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's kind of been a fluke for Montreal, but I mean, he's got to take advantage. I mean, he's Final Four, if you call it that.
Yeah.
I don't see him with, normalcy next year. I don't see the Habs even being a playoff team.
Heck, Montreal is paying. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. That's the end of the. Never mind. Okay, I was gonna say Jake Allen is getting paid over $4 million, but I think that's the continuation of the
Blues contract.
Yeah, that threw me. That
insane.
threw me off for a second. I'm like, why would Montreal pay him that much? But okay, never mind.
Speaking of the Blues, isn't Jordan Binnington a free agent?
I believe he is.
Thought
Yeah.
it was, yeah.
Yeah. Believe so. So
Wow.
we'll see.
Well, cool.
We'll go
Matt, do you
pick
have
him up.
anything else?
Oh yeah, we came across an article. I forgot the guy's
Right.
name.
Ben Pope?
Ben Pope said that he thinks Dougie Hamilton is a better defensive guy to go after than Seth Jones, which I think he's high on crack.
Well,
Because-
okay. Just for a little context, he says that if for the Blackhawks, that it would be better for Dougie Hamilton for them to go after Dougie Hamilton than
Crack.
than Seth Jones, which I think we all highly disagree.
Yes.
And the reasoning behind the article was that was because of Dougie Hamilton's offensive upside. And if you look at the Hawks roster, every single defenseman we have is other than Connor Murphy and Zadorov are offensive oriented. And I think that it's ridiculous. He's talking about how Seth Jones's offensive numbers have slid the past 3 years. And to be honest with you, if he could put shots on net, that's really all that we need. We need a guy who could put shots on net and play
block
defense.
shots. Yeah.
And play defense.
Right.
And
Yeah.
he'll log a lot of minutes. If we were to get him, we would be able to put Duncan Keith down onto the second line, and he could play more manageable minutes because at his age these days, he can't be playing, the 25 to 30 minutes a game.
no.
He's
Well,
well
and
beyond that.
Another thing is, how many teams has Hamilton played for?
2?
Obviously, I think it's 4.
Boston,
think he's-
Carolina.
Calgary.
No. Wait, Seth Jones?
Oh, no,
No,
Dougie
no.
Hamilton. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Hamilton.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's Hamilton.
Yeah.
I know
think it's-
Jones has been with.
2.
He went. Yeah, 2. But Columbus has no intention, or had no intention, of getting rid of this guy. I have a feeling they wanted to sign him to the max contract,
Right.
put a C on his jersey,
Yeah.
and be the face. But it's been rough over there the last couple of years. You lost Panarin, you lost Bobrovsky, you lost your coach.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't like the direction, and I honestly don't blame him, but I would still, like you said, I would take him over Hamilton, and like, there's no question, there's
Yeah.
no thought, take him.
Yeah,
If you can-
Hamilton, he played three seasons in Boston, 3 seasons in Calgary, and 3 seasons in Carolina. So he must be
Wow.
on his way out. So
That's his limit. 3 years somewhere.
3 years and he's got to go.
He likes to travel.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, he could score, he could put up points, but like we don't need that. We need a guy who can put up minutes, and I agree with what
and
you
stop
said.
people.
Yeah, and be a leader. He'll be a leader back there for when Keith is gone. He would be the man the day he came here, but still, I mean, he'd be the face of our defense.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Right.
he's a great guy to learn from if you're a younger guy trying to, be an elite defenseman like that. I guarantee you, if you ask Tortorella who would you rather have, he would say Jones in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, for sure.
And at this stage in his career, what is he? 7-8 years in?
Yeah, he's still pretty
yeah.
damn young. Yeah, he's going to want to get paid.
Yeah.
Like if we're going to trade for him, I mean,
I would
you got to have you got to have
that
something.
he's not looking to. I think he's looking to get paid, but maybe something fair.
Yeah.
I don't think
that
he'll
would
be
fair.
looking for a $12 million payday.
No,
No, I don't think so.
10 max, maybe.
Would you pay
I
him
think
8?
I would pay him 8. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, in
I-
a heartbeat.
I would pay him 8. I'd be like, hey, listen, if we're going to give up a first round pick, a prospect, maybe another current player, and you come here, we have a 9-year or a $9 million 8-year deal for you, or whatever, 7 because he's a free agent. I don't know the rule, but we want you to be the man here. And if you are willing to sign it, we will make the trade right now to Columbus. That's me. But if he says, you know what, I want to test free agency, I wouldn't risk it. I would just wait another year and just try to sign him for free. Being free, not losing anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Somebody's gonna grab him though. Something's gonna happen.
I think if he says something like that, like I want free agency, I want to test free agency, that means he's looking to get paid.
Yep. I was thinking the same
That,
thing.
And
that
if
means
you're
that
a
he's,
GM,
that means that he's
you gotta
looking to get
protect
paid,
yourself.
and he doesn't
Yeah.
want to go to Columbus.
Yeah, well, and you got to
Yeah.
protect yourself as a GM. Like, listen, man, we love you, we want you, but I can't give Columbus this stuff if you're not going to give me a guarantee.
Right.
It's a game now, and otherwise people are going to wait till the deadline, probably give them a first round pick to Columbus as a playoff rental, but that's still risky to me. And like some teams take risks, like remember the Coyotes did it with Taylor Hall, and it damn well he wasn't going to re-sign with that team.
Yeah.
And you lost all that stuff. So it's a gamble. I think just you said a couple weeks ago, Philly is really high on him, but I
don't see him going there.
no, I don't
I
see him
just don't
going
see
there
it.
either.
I don't see it. But
But
I mean,
a lot of guys
who am I?
I think he might end up on the Rangers, honestly.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know
mean,
how year after year the
they like the
Rangers are
spotlight.
in every
I know.
conversation.
The spotlight stuff. They want to be
Yeah. Playing at
they wanna
Madison
be-
Square Garden.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
And Jack Eichel too. They're saying he's on his way out now too. Because
Yeah.
Buffalo's pissed off that he's, made a big scene about this. They're also saying he might end up with LA. They got the cap space, but I heard Detroit. So we'll see, man. It's going to be a cool summer this year. Usually, the Hawks don't have cap space, so I'm like, I don't really care. But now we do, so it's interesting.
Me too. I'm drinking that martini most years. It's funny that you mentioned that. I heard that a lot of teams actually agree with the Buffalo Sabres medical staff that they don't think that the surgery is the right thing for Eichel to do.
Yeah, a young player like him. Yeah.
I heard that too.
Which man, that throws a huge monkey wrench into the whole thing. Like, what happens
His
with
plan?
that?
Yeah.
That's the first thing. It's like, when is this? If you're going to have this surgery, your season's been over with for about a month already.
Right.
And
what are you waiting for?
has any action been taken? Are you rehabbing? What's the deal? And if you're not going to have the surgery, is it a lingering thing for you? Is it one of those things that it's in the back of your mind that you want to have done, and you're not gonna play well until you have it?
I mean, I would think you'd have to play. You'd be a little hesitant if you are playing, right? Like just knowing that you get bumped or you get hit bad one more time, it could really do a number on you. And then what do you do then? I don't know.
What is it, a disc in his neck, they're saying?
Thought
Something
that's
like
what
that?
it was.
I
That's
think his
dangerous,
mom
man.
is getting involved in it too.
Yeah.
She's a nurse,
Yeah.
and she wants her baby boy to be fixed. But I mean, is that 31 other doctors agreeing with Buffalo, or is it?
Do you know
Are they
why?
private doctors?
Do you know
or-
why that they don't want him to have the surgery?
I think it's risky. He's a young guy.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Not
I
wrong.
mean, I don't know the real reason. I'm just saying. I mean, a lot of players, they heal, like, as being a younger guy, they heal faster
Right.
than an older guy. I mean, I could see if it was like an old guy, like, hey, I need to finish these last 4 years and maybe do it, but he's still what, 20, 26, 27 years old?
Yeah, he's
Maybe
got
younger?
it.
yeah,
I think he's
I think
25.
he's McDavid. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. If the doctors say you don't need it, then I mean, I guess listen to them. You get a second opinion. Maybe you're probably going to get a different opinion, but
yeah.
I guess you got to do what's best for yourself. It's your body, and if he wants to do it, he wants to do it. But I mean, Buffalo's paying him a lot of money to be the man, so if they don't want him to do it, it's tough.
I'd ask him, what do we do to get you back to 100%? So we don't have to deal with this shit anymore.
Right.
I think he just wants out. I think this is a way of getting out. Say, like, they're not agreeing with me, trade me. But like, if you're going to trade for him, it's the same thing with Jones. Like, are you getting a healthy guy? Is his neck even functionable? Can he play? It's risky.
He shows up and he's got that big thing on his neck.
He's got like that dog funnel.
Yeah, he's got the dog
cone.
Yeah.
with his fro outlined on the outside.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's just really curious to, I think you have a big point there, Matt. Is this a bargaining chip here just to get out of Buffalo?
I think he's tired of the BS, and I quite honestly, I don't blame him. It sucks. He's never been in the playoffs. He's got a guy who's making $9 million on his team who scored 4 goals last year, Skinner.
Yeah,
and they've had a new coach almost every season he's been there.
Yeah,
they got a new GM, and it sucks, man. There's no like structure there. There's no there's no like with the Hawks. It's a first class. They take care of their players. It just seems like everybody's pissed off when they're in Buffalo.
Yeah, no one's happy.
Yeah.
I mean, at the Hawks, if you're playing a game and your wife's going into labor, they'll fly you wherever you need to go.
Yeah.
You got anything, Matt or Justin?
No, just I'm excited for the kickoff of the Vegas and Montreal series tomorrow. It'll be very interesting to see how that goes. Excited that the Islanders 1-1. I'm kind of not that I care much about any of these 4 teams, but I guess I'll throw my hat in behind the Isles and the Habs and go for the underdogs here. But we'll see what happens. Should be fun.
I'm drinking those martinis right there, 100%. I'm pulling for both teams. I want it to be interesting. I don't want to see, teams, rolling over each other. I want to see it get competitive and
exactly.
And see, because it seems like it's like the hot versus cold in this type of both of these teams. We have 2 very highly offensive teams playing 2 really good defensive teams, and
exactly.
And who knows? Maybe Montreal starts scoring a little bit above their weight class.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, how often have we seen when it's a normal playoff seeding and the 8th seed gets hot and makes a run? Look at like the Kings back, 14? Yeah, that was 14. Oh, God, that was almost a decade ago now. But yeah, I mean, like that, it's possible. It happens, right? So you get hot, you got a hot goaltender, and everything kind of falls in place. So we'll see what happens.
Imagine that Isles versus Habs for the Stanley Cup.
That'd be pretty wild.
Yeah, it would be sweet.
Yeah,
it'd be pretty cool.
It'd be like the Eastern Conference Finals from like 1973 or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
All right, guys.
I'll tell you what. That Isles Arena, man, the Nassau.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Those guys are great. They're having a ball. I'm happy.
Go out with
them.
a bang, before they get.
It reminds me of 2010. It's everybody was standing up, cheering, and calling the goalie's name when he gives up a goal, and that's old school, man. I'm glad everybody's having fun there because they haven't had good teams
long time.
Yeah,
no, not for a long time.
It's good for them.
Yeah, who knows? They're probably still paying DiPietro and Alexei Yashin.
Possibility.
That's probably accurate. That's accurate.
Probably.
Could you imagine that the last year for the Coliseum they win the cup?
I was just thinking that myself, Mike. That might be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's storybook right there.
I wouldn't want to leave. I'd be like, you know what? We're gonna stay here until we lose again.
Yeah.
The fans are mad. Every year they're mad or they're happy, and now they're sad because they love the noise there. And I guess they're saying the new building, they're making it like so it's still loud and stuff, but it's never the same.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
it's kind of funny, man. They kind of like when the Cubs were talking about redoing Wrigley Field, everyone was so against it. They're talking about history and all this. And it's like, look, we haven't won in 108 fucking years. Okay, so if I don't know what history everybody was talking about, as soon as they started renovating that fucking place, man, they won a World Series. If the Isles getting a new building can bring more talent in with better facilities for the players, a better atmosphere for the players to be in, why not go for it? So these guys can be comfortable and maybe put a better product onto the ice and get more players that want to come over there and play there.
Yeah, it's not working with Detroit though.
No, it's not.
No.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
That Joe Louis, man, when they were in the playoffs every year, it was loud. That goal horn, as much as I hated it, it sounded awesome when it was crazy nuts there, throwing the octopus on the ice. And
that's awesome. Another good point. Maybe they're a little too comfy there.
Maybe that's the problem.
Get a little too comfy.
Well, they got that. They have a nice arena too, Little Caesars, I think it's called. Man, that guy spent a lot of money on that place. That guy saved Detroit.
Is that Illich?
Illich,
yeah. He just died recently. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of. Did he own their
Tigers,
baseball team too?
Right?
Didn't they?
Yeah.
Tigers,
I think he does, yeah.
I believe he paid for this lady's rent for 8 years.
Yeah, Rosa Parks, I believe, right?
Right. And nobody knew about it.
No press about it, nothing, yeah.
Yeah, he was
Didn't
a really
want any
great guy.
accolades for it. Yep.
His kids run it now, don't they?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. That's all that we got for you today. Do us a favor. Hit us up on social media. If you want to cuss me out, you don't like what I got to say about your teams, I'm going to keep doing it no matter what. Let's talk about it. I love to hear what you got to say. And I can't wait to see what goes on with these playoffs because they've actually been pretty good this year. A lot of different storylines. It just things got shaken up. But we'll catch you on the next one. This is the TomaHawk. We're out.